morning, everyone. This is Ariel Molzoff, making my video at the office of Hope for the Warriors in Manhattan. I'm currently sharing an office because we are in flux, so I'm filming this in the break room. So I strategically placed myself so you wouldn't see the mess, but there's quite a heap of stuff behind me. So this video, I wanted to discuss my pre-survey. I actually think I'm only the third intern to go through it, but when you start with Hope for the Warriors, you get this handy-dandy folder, and in it there is, you know, your in-processing sheet, so all of the information that you need to know, anything and everything to get you started, you know, your passwords, how to get your sign-in, all that fun administrative stuff. But then at the end, there's actually a pre-survey, which I found really interesting, and I'm still learning how it's being integrated into my supervision. So I wanted to go over that with you guys. So working with the military community, it's, you know, I don't want to say a drastically different culture, but it is a different culture. And I have a skewed perspective because I was a military spouse and my husband is a veteran. So I'm coming in with a little bit of knowledge, but something that they like to know is what an intern's knowledge base is coming in. So the first few questions are geared towards that. So the first one, please explain your perspective of military knowledge, or your prospective military knowledge. Is that grammatically correct? Who knows? I'll discuss that with my supervisor later. So you list anything from, you know, I'm the daughter of a naval officer, or I did JROTC in high school. You list what your sources of knowledge are. And then the second question is, please list where your limits. He asked for your top 3 limits. So what I said was, I have a limited knowledge of what is available for veterans and caregivers in the New York area, because I actually just returned to the New York area, and I was pretty honest that my knowledge is very specific to the Marine Corps and the Army, because my husband is a Marine and I worked for the Army. So I said that my knowledge is limited when it comes to the Navy or the Air Force. I know nothing about the rank structure, how it works, what the jobs are. There's nothing there for me. So that was something that we discussed, and I actually got paired with someone else in the organization who is a naval wife. So whenever I have questions, I go to her, because my supervisor is also Marine. So his knowledge is also limited of the Air Force and not so much the Navy. But that's a conversation that this survey allowed us to have. Next, we go through practice knowledge, and it's a chart. And to get more in depth, what he asks is you to circle the topics you'd like to learn more about, and then highlight the topics that you have no knowledge of whatsoever. So in one question, he hits 2 very, very important pieces. So for me, I said that I wanted to learn more about modalities of practice, research-informed practice, and community mapping. It sounds super boring, but that's something I find very interesting. I want to know where the veterans are and how we find them. But then I was pretty honest. I highlighted that I have little to no knowledge of data analysis, government policy, and grant writing, because that's frankly something I've never really found interesting, but it's something I do need to be aware of. Then we move on to we build on practice knowledge, and he goes into skills. So again, it's circle the skills you have little or no experience with, and highlight the ones you have a great deal of experience with. So again, one question he hits on 2 very important things. I said that I had a great deal of experience with collaboration with outside organizations, outreach, and public relations, because that's what I did with my first internship, basically. And then I said that I wanted to learn more about training, coaching, fundraising, grant writing, and diagnosing, which is something we don't do here, but we've found little ways to integrate it into my experience. Then from there, he actually goes into asking you about how you learn best, which is what I have found the most interesting, and he really is integrating into supervision. So I circled that I learned best through reading and discussion, and he's been very good about, if I'm going to a training, he will forward me all of the reading materials plus a little extra, because I am very introverted. I need to digest material before I'm able to speak about it eloquently well, you know. So now when I go to training, I have good questions to ask because it's not the first time I'm looking at the material. I also said that I learn best visually, either by watching my supervisor or watching videos. That's something we have yet to integrate, but I look forward to it. And case discussion. So every supervision, the first thing we do is I run down all of my cases, I give them a brief synopsis of what's going on, the questions I have, and where I'm going with them. And that to me is the most useful part of our supervision. And then the last question, sorry this is going over, is please list any learning needs that you have. So that's where I went into, you know, I'm very introverted. I learn best when I have 24 hours to process the information, be it a case or training materials for a training. So I said I would appreciate it if, you know, yes, get my initial feedback, but give me time to process it and I'll come back to you with better questions and better input. So my question to you guys is, did any of your internships have a survey like this that you have been integrating into your practice? I'll keep you updated on how it's going, and I'll let you know how the post-survey goes when we're done. Have a great one, guys. Bye.